Hey guys, this is Austin.
And John.
With Walton's TV, and this is Meatgistics. As America's obsession with bacon continues to grow more and more, many people want to make their own homemade bacon. Bacon is normally a cured pork belly, though other meats such as turkey and beef are becoming popular as well. If you're wanting to process your own bacon at home, you'll need to find an uncured pork belly. When picking out and purchasing a fresh pork belly, make sure that it is actually a fresh belly and doesn't have any extra salt, cure, or seasoning added, as the amount of salt and cure we will add will be an issue if that belly already contains cure. Before we start, remember that all of the seasoning, cure, additives, additional supplies like gloves, food-safe containers, injectors, and more that we use here today can be easily purchased all at one location by visiting waltonsinc.com. Walton's has everything but the meat. So John, why don't you go ahead and explain to us what is smoked and cured bacon?
Sure. Most bacon cures that we sell contain nitrites, which break down into nitric oxide gas through the curing process. The correct amount of ingoing nitrite for bacon is 120 parts per million, and for sodium erythorbate, it's 547 parts per million. When purchasing a bacon cure from Walton's, this is already pre-measured and calculated in our cures and recipes. This is less than the typical cure used for other products like ham. So we do recommend using a specific cure made especially for bacon. The amount of salt in the bacon cure also plays a key role in curing the bacon by lowering the water activity and making it inhospitable to damaging microorganisms. There are two popular ways to cure bellies at home: brining in a cure solution, also known as pickling, or injecting. We recommend injecting simply because the process is faster and easier. Either method is appropriate and they both make great bacon. For our injection, we're going to use Excalibur's Blue Ribbon Maple Bacon Cure. This contains maple sugar made from 100% maple syrup, so it has a nice sweet flavor, but still has a classic bacon taste as well. Before we prepare our injection, there are a few things we need to point out about the water that you should be using. At the time of preparation, the water needs to be between 29 and 35 degrees Fahrenheit, and it should not be hard water. It must be purified or potable water, so very low microbial levels. We recommend using either distilled or purified water, but tap water can be used, but it should be placed in a refrigerator overnight to allow it to cool down to around 35 degrees and to allow any added chlorine to evaporate and just won't be in it anymore.
To prepare your injection, we're going to dissolve 2 pounds of the Blue Ribbon Maple Cure and 6 ounces of our Bacon Taste Booster into a gallon of water. The Bacon Taste Booster helps impart that classic bacon taste while using modern curing techniques, and it helps fight off rancidity in the freezer as well. The proper amount of injection is going to be 10% of the pork belly's starting weight in liquid brine. So if we start with a 10-pound belly, we're going to want to inject approximately 1 pound of brine, or 16 ounces of brine, into our belly. That would make our 10-pound bacon weight 11 pounds after we're done injecting.
Remember when you're injecting this that you want the water to be as cold as possible. Warm water is going to deactivate the cure. When you're using a syringe-like injector like this one, you want to pump the bacon until you can see the meat expand like it did right there. It almost looks like a balloon that is inflating. You want to make sure that you're injecting the belly evenly. Injecting too much of it on one end means you're going to leave the other end without enough cure. The best way to do this is to inject at one end, then switch to the other end and work towards the middle. Also, remember to leave your belly in the cooler until the last possible moment, and then get it back in the cooler as quickly as possible for food safety. Since the Blue Ribbon Maple Cure for bacon has sodium erythorbate in it, we only need to hold this product overnight in a cooler at 38 degrees before moving it to the smokehouse. While we're holding them, we'll want to cover them in a 50% strength solution of the brine we used for injecting. If you have any remaining brine from the injection, weigh it out and add the same weight in extra water to the leftover brine to dilute it to 50%, and you can now use that for your cover brine. If you need to make more cover brine, you can make more by using 1 pound of cure to 1 gallon of water. How much cover brine we need to prepare will depend on the size of the container we'll place the bacon in. If you want to pickle, we recommend that you use country brown sugar cure. You just have to modify the usage a little bit to get the correct parts per million, since it's not technically a bacon cure, and as we mentioned, bacon uses a lower nitrite and cure level than cured meats like ham. you'll want to use 1.52 pounds of cure to a gallon of water to get 120 parts per million of ingoing nitrite. Fill the container with the cure before you put the bellies in. This will allow the bacon to suspend and the cure evenly. Make sure to stack the bellies meat side to meat side and fat to fat. Once your bellies are covered, move them to a cooler at 38 to 32 degrees, somewhere in that range, and hold for 3 to 5 days. Thinner bacons may need only 3 days, but large and thick bacons will need the full 5 days to soak. After it's sat for 3 to 5 days, fill a meat lug with clean cold water, let the bacon sit in the clean water for 20 minutes, empty the meat lug and fill it up again with more cold water and let it sit for another 20 minutes. This will rinse off any excess salt. If you try to skip this step, you're going to end up with bacon that is way too salty. You won't even be able to eat it. If you're wanting a less salty product, repeat that step a third time. Next, you're going to hang your bacon on 9-inch bacon hangers, making sure that there's sufficient flesh above the hooks to prevent them from ripping through the top of the belly, and then hang them in the smokehouse. The smoking schedule is the same for both pickling and injecting. You're going to want to cook it for 1 hour at 120 degrees with no smoke, then introduce smoke, cook it for another hour at 135, then another hour at 150, and another hour at 165, all of those with smoke. Then you're going to turn off your smoke and cook it at 180 degrees until the internal temperature is 145 degrees. Now you can either cook it to 138 degrees and hold it there for 19 minutes, or cook it to 145 and stop as soon as it gets there. We chose the 145, but 138 for 19 minutes is fine as well. If your smoker has a shower cycle, go ahead and use that. If you don't have a shower cycle, simply spray it with cold water for 20 minutes or fill up a meat lug with ice and water and let it sit in there for 20 minutes, about that, just to bring the core temperature down. Allow the bacon to sit out at room temperature for 2 hours before slicing or packaging it, and there you go. You got yourself some homemade bacon.
As always, subscribe to Walton's TV on YouTube to be the first to know when we release new videos, and remember to tap the bell next to that subscribe button to get notified about each new video. If you liked this video or you found it helpful, be sure and click that like button, plus leave us any comments or questions down below. As always, make sure you visit waltonsinc.com or meatgistics.com to find everything but the meat. Thanks for watching. I'm Austin.
And John.
With Walton's TV, and we'll see you guys next time.
Going to cook up some bacon.
Subscribe to Walton's TV to watch more YouTube videos, or shop at waltonsinc.com to find everything but the meat. You can also watch more videos from Walton's TV by clicking here or clicking here.